when I felt something heavy smack I can't talk, back of my head.
Miss Whiteley?
I appeared greatly alarmed by a sudden sight. I could see someone too. A figure stood directly behind him, and I wished so badly to shout, but I could not find my voice.
Yeah.
Upon Holmes' gasp, I heard yet another dull smack. That was before blacking out. My head pulsated. My body was weighted. I opened my eyes to be met with darkness. When I tried to sit up, slow as I was to move, the back of my head ached from even the smallest adjustment. What? Am I?
You finally woke up. Are you alright? How's your head?
It isn't so bad. I think. Is that you, Holmes?
Hobby by my name. You hear my voice. What do you think I'll say?
To hear a familiar voice in this unknown place gave me a sudden flush of comfort. I wouldn't mistake that derisive tone for anyone but you.
I shall kindly ask that you not speak ill of me, Madam Dunderhead.
Then I should say the same to you. But where are we? My eyes are not adjusted, so all I could do was feel. The cold made me shiver whilst the smell of dust made me dirty.
Based on what's in here, we're inside a storage room in the Academy's basement. They have evidence of tableware, watering cans, buckets, and well, give it a few minutes. You'll be able to soon enough.
Oh, we're really in a basement? Shouting as loudly as I could caused me to inhale a cloud of dust, sending me into a fit of dry coughs. Ugh, bother all this dust, if only I could have some fresh air.
Alex, well, there's no way to open the door. If you're both locked inside.
That can't be.
What reason would I have to lie? The one who attacked you was an upperclassman. Another one attacked me when I was distracted.
So they did, and after their attack, they stashed us in here. But why?
They must be friends of Clive MacLeod.
Oh, God. I realized Pendleton had warned me of this. Several times he had warned me, and I spared him no ear. I should have sincerely listened to his every word. I was a fool. No, I was not. Only a fool would use his time to wallow in her mistakes. And I now knew the danger. The next step was to find a means of escape. It's awfully quiet. I suppose the cabin is empty. In time, I could see better in the dark. I checked my surroundings, careful not to turn too sharply, so as to not further agitate my headache. It's best we call for help.
Call to whom? From all the way down here?
Yes, it's better than nothing. Help! I shouted all the strength in my lungs granted. There was a response. What if there was truly no one?
There isn't a point in shouting, there's no one around to hear it. Better conserve your energy to think of another strategy. That's the other exit beside the entrance. I can't imagine anyone would hear us do that.
Oh. He was right. The skylight was high, and though what was once darkened became illumined just slightly by a curious moon, it was not much. To cry upwards with a sliver of hope was inefficient. I propped myself on the floor helplessly, causing more dust to flutter in the air. Holmes cleared his throat before looking to me.
I rather hope that this isn't too stern, but would you keep quiet a while? I have some things I like to think about.
With a pout to his lips, he turned away and sturdily crossed his arm to contemplate our circumstances. Why is Holmes always so cold to me? Was he angry with what I said?
What did I just say?
I know, but, I was wondering if you're angry with me because I suggested you fought with Clave.
Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry at myself for not knowing such evil stood in plain sight of my vision. I've been here for a year, and I never noticed. I'm ashamed of myself.
He then stared at nothing with impressed intensity. My heart moved. Holmes? But I found you to be magnificent, and Slater chose to confide in you, didn't he? He could have gone to a teacher. Instead, he came to you. That must mean he thinks highly of you, trusts you.
Then I hope this trust wasn't misplaced.
Holmes? With inept timing, my stomach rumbled. Oops, you heard that, didn't you? Seems I'm feeling peckish.
You and your stomach have absolutely no sense of timing.
But hold that thought. I have a biscuit we can eat. I procured the still wrapped biscuit from my pocket. It was my favorite brand.
Really?
It's nice and crumbled. Let's split in half, shall we?
No need. Besides, it's nearly crumbled. I couldn't eat such a thing.
Nonsense. Think of it as already being split for us.
I really would prefer if you had the entire thing. Could be some time before we get out of here.
Well, how about this? We'll attract birds with the biscuit crumbs and...
Are you a lunatic? Ask the well-trained carrier pigeons to fly off once they're full. Today is the 1st of September, Saturday. This class is Sunday. Don't be a stolen campus till Monday at the earliest.
That's terrible. Big Ben's chime informed us that it must have been 9 o'clock at night. Is it that late already? Pendleton must be in tears with worry.
Pendleton?
He's my butler. My mother and father both passed away when I was small, so he's taking care of me instead. I know how he worries. He said he would pick me up at 3 o'clock.
Must be. I wonder if Watson's that's word for me.
I should think so with all that's happened today. Still, it is Watson, so I can't help but suppose he might think something else.
Like what?
Oh, you know, the two of them went trapezing off together, so I should go be a good mate and let them alone.
Miss Whiteley, don't be so vulgar.
He protested, just what I needed. Tricked you. I crammed the biscuit crumb into his open mouth before he could stop me. Spitting it out, have water, and I know it's a bit dry, but don't be tempted. This is better than eating nothing at all. Soon after I followed suit by eating my half, that sweet vanilla flavor was medicine in this time of distress.
You are, without a doubt.
But it's got a lovely taste, doesn't it? I went to thoughtfully run a finger in my hair only to realize how tangled it was. Bobby's biscuit shoved in your mouth. My hair must look more like a bird's nest right now. I was wont to carry a hound glass, so I took it out to inspect myself.
Miss Whiteley? Have you had that the whole time?
That's what I was thinking. I always carry it with me. It belonged to my mother.
Lend it to me.
No?
This is our secret. We can't let anyone know we're trapped in here. We can't let someone know we're trapped in here.
Holmes carefully positioned himself beneath the skylight. He began to periodically shift the mirror, reflecting the modest moonlight back outside. Is that?
I'm sending an emergency signal. If anyone's near to us, they'll see it.
Aha! Morse code, is it?
Indeed. They'll let you know I'm staying, but they'll see the flickering.
You're right. Give it to me, I know how to do it. Holmes fleetingly looked at me before returning his concentration to the window.
Should rest for now. I'll keep at it. I'll wake you in a bit once I'm tired, then we can switch.
Well, aren't you a sweetheart?
Not quite. You don't seem the type to put in much effort in ensuring an emergency signal is accurate. You don't even understand what you're trying to do.
This is what I meant by your derisive tone!
Yes. Just get some proper rest.
So I shall. Thank you. As this motion continued, he was patient in sending the signal, tilting the mirror with precision, waiting, tilting. How funny that it was not crying, not banging against the door, and not birds lured with crumbs, but the simple reflection of light that would be our savior. Tilting, waiting, again and again, with measured precision he continued. He did all this with the same rigid, perfect motion. Perhaps I was more tired than previously thought. As I watched his repetition in silence, my eyelids slowly drooped till I fell to a restful sleep. How much time had passed since then? It was so very quiet in that dark, dingy space. Only the snores of an unruly heiress could be heard. Holmes laid over... Oh. I could probably still read this. Holmes laid over her a small blanket he found amongst the storage before attending to the signal again. Then, what as the stroke of midnight could be heard, Holmes heard a distinct shuffling from just outside the door.
Who's there?
The door clicked as it was unlocked. On the other side was the man he hoped to see.
Hello? Are you alright?
I'm well.
Is Emily with you?
She's sleeping, but she's also well.
Music to my ears. It scared me to death when I realized you two were missing. Why were you even here?
A tale for a wise way walk, my friend. You'll have to carry Miss Whiteley out first.
Oh, of course. You said she's sleeping, right? Prop her on my shoulders.
Watson slowly lifted the tiny young lady onto his back.
Have you been injured?
In any way that was substantial. Miss Whiteley, however? Never mind.
Come off it. If you're concerned, just say it.
Even whilst he carried Emily, Watson found no trouble playfully poking and prodding at his friend.
That's enough, Watson. You drop her.
Watson? Why are you here?
Did I wake you? Feeling alright?
I am. Then we were able to escape the storage room.
Yes, after I caught your signal. The light coming from a window was reflecting off of one of the academy's walls. Any later, though, I wouldn't have noticed a thing. Look over there, see? It's about completely covered by clouds.
It was as he said, only the tiniest sliver of moonlight could be seen. My vision was faint, but I could see the vague shape of a carriage not far ahead. Someone cared. There was a way home. I was safe in knowing only this as more of an instinct than a thought. I permitted myself to once more slumber.
Sleeping again already?
Letter. Today was quite the day.
We parted ways at the academy at midnight. My very first day of school was eventful, and I could not have wanted for more.
Avalon?
Good morning, my lady.
I'm so tired. Please, let me sleep in since it's Saturday.
I fear it's not Saturday, but Sunday.
Yes, that's what I... Oh, what?
Look here. They've written about you in the morning paper again.
Her Majesty's detective solves another exciting case. Oh my, what a lovely headline! And it's about me?
It is. And to say brings me a great sense of pride in you.
It doesn't feel quite real to me. I thought I might die in there. And I'm here, comfortable in my bed, reading this very paper which deals my exploits so distinctly.
But the article itself writes that it was Holmes who solved the exciting case. Is that true?
Yes, Holmes was simply amazing, nearly perfect in fact.
But look at the back of the newspaper.
Clive McLeod was arrested and sent to reformatory on charges of extortion, assault, and possession of narcotics. He is believed to have had numerous other associates at the academy and is suspected of involvement in the increasing number of thefts within its walls. Additional arrests were made for associates in the slums. Police are currently investigating their ties to multiple unsolved incidents. The doorbell rang.
It's wonderful to see that the case has come to a close without the situation getting any worse. I am pleased as well to report that we've recovered a number of stolen goods from the McLeod family home. As a precaution, I should ask if you've noticed anything that's gone missing. Did you lose anything in the academy?
Nothing, Inspector. I haven't lost anything. Rather, I feel I've gained something extraordinary from this experience. Even on my first day, my new schoolmates were too kind to me.
I see. That's good. If you'll excuse me then, Miss Whiteley, you've proven to be a wonderful detective for Her Majesty.
Thank you, and thank you for stopping by as well, Inspector.
Speaking of, Holmes and Watson visited whilst you were sleeping, my lady.
How sweet! My, they were the same brand as the one that had been in my pocket. Holmes does it again. He only had one bite and still he could tell it was McVitie's vanilla cream flavor.
Here are the letters they wrote to accompany your gift.
Oh, what do they say? How was your first day at the academy? I hope you'll have a fantastic time here with us, Watson! If you eat too many sweets, you'll grow fatter than a pig. You do well to learn some self-control. Holmes.
He really is quite the detective. He has already deduced the side effects of your unfortunate eating habits.
What? I told you I'm a growing girl.
Huh?
Rather than an early morning Saturday breakfast, I had a late afternoon Sunday breakfast. And somehow, I cannot explain how, but certainly somehow, the often dull London cityscape looked much brighter today. I swear to God, they make me memorize what her favorite biscuit was, and it comes up in a future case. I'm not going to remember what it is unless it's in a choice. Miss Vita's or something? MacVita?
To significant.
I don't know. Pendleton seems to be ready to quiz me on anything and everything. The morning was splendid as it was regular, yet certainly despite its regularity I remained conscious of the things that made it so splendid in the first place. The birds chirping their song, the sun beaming through my window, and most importantly the exquisite breakfast I had been presented. A stack of fluffy flapjacks, a delectable omelette, a dressed salad, what bliss! Of course, I would be remiss if I neglected the regular sight of Pendleton, ever brimming with sophistication as he poured me a cup of tea.
My lady, I've prepared a Sam tea for your pleasure today.
Wonderful! Post-breakfast consisted of what I hoped were ladylike sips between reading the morning paper, which was always on the table once I was ready. This time, the headline was enough to prompt surprise. Earl Avalon was murdered in his mansion, and the cause of death was via poison in a carafe. His lordship was missing water from a carafe when he began to desperately claw at his throat, collapsing only moments later. His death is believed to have been the result of arsenic poisoning.
Clever. No one can live without water, and thus no one would think to inspect it for poison before consuming it.
If I recall, the Earl was a gourmet, yes? He lived close to Covent Garden Market.
He was. So much so that he earned the name Iron Stomach for the many rare delicacies he sampled from around the globe. He prized cleanliness and displayed the utmost respect towards his food, to where he would wash his hands with an unusual degree of thoroughness before every meal.
How tragic that his one true passion should take his life.
Yes, the irony certainly speaks volumes.
Still, I was not struck by the news that my own drinking habits were at pause, as I continued sipping once my cup was refilled.
His tale is further evidence of how dangerous it is to carelessly consume everything one is served, my lady. I find myself thinking if it would be best for you to abstain from eating entirely from here on out.
A terrible sense crept from the pit of my stomach. Pendleton smiled in more to unnerve than ease.
For a start, I will forego serving anything sweet during afternoon tea.
You, the my only source of happiness, is too cruel. And the food you serve, wouldn't it be dangerous?
True, but you're a particularly gluttonous young lady. Were I to try and kill you, it would be as simple as swatting a fly. Pray, is it worth the risk?
What do you mean? This is nothing like a bug.
If I were to serve you a highly toxic meal of sautéed mushrooms and potatoes, you would gorge away.
I dare say I would not. I know when something's edible, I do.
Well, have no fear. You may be naive of the ways of the world whilst having inherited a great fortune that an ordinary butler would murder to obtain, but I could never do such a thing.
Sorry, disconnected. Do you want me to keep you as my butler or not?
I insist that you should keep me. My wish is for you to live a long and healthy life for your parents. I think of it every minute, no, every second of my day.
You don't have to think of it quite that often, but if you must, just try and poison me. I can eat anything and still survive.
I suppose that's one way to live. Now come. It's almost time for school, and I've your carriage waiting for you. Please be certain not to eat any old thing you find on the street or accept food from strangers.
Enough, I'm not that greedy. insinuate such things. I'm not a glutton, and I'm far from sheltered. Why, I'm a very sensible woman. Sensible enough to know that murder so close to here means I ought to inspect my meals before eating them from now on.
Calais.
Hey, did you read the paper this morning?
Mika.
It was an honest-to-goodness shock that Earl Alvin was poisoned. You'd never think it would happen to a man called Iron Stomach.
Perhaps, but obtaining poison isn't as difficult as one might think. You can purchase arsenic if you visit a chemist, and if you're related to farmers in the countryside, they use a number of things to ward off pests.
Oh, stop! I don't want to hear it.
The entire academy was buzzing with the talk of Earl Alvin's unexpected death.
Good morning, Emily. Did you read the paper?
You mean the news about Earl Alvin? Yes, I did.
It's horrible, isn't it? They say it's arsenic.
Thought to have been caused by arsenic. Nothing more. No one shred of detail on its symptoms.
Not everyone is a hardened investigator. Specifics wouldn't be the most pleasant read for the average Londoner.
Oh? What happens if you ingest arsenic? My curiosity was piqued.
Symptoms of arsenic poisoning initially include stomach pains, diarrhea, and nausea. After a while, sensory changes can also occur. In a worst-case scenario, death.
Thank you.
I have some photographs on my person, incidentally. This one has facial swelling, but that only occurs with acute intoxication. If it were a chronic intoxication, the skin becomes more similar to this one.
Holmes spread upon the desk a variety of photographs for all to see.
Look. This is absolutely horrific.
Fellow schoolmates gathered to browse Holmes' gallery of evidence only to sour upon first sight.
This one here represents paralytic shellfish poisoning. Where poison from, say, a scallop, paralysis would begin in the lips to the face before spreading to the limbs, eventually leading to motor impairment, difficulty breathing, and finally, death.
It's a lovely collection, Holmes. I'm plenty satisfied now.
If it were to claim, you wouldn't experience chills, nausea, dark spotting as a result of blood vessels bursting under the skin, all within 24 to 48 hours. In due time, you begin bleeding from both the gums and nasal cavities. In a severe case, it leads to delirium and...
Holmes, you've made brilliant work of nauseating the entire room.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. In light of the murder, I thought to gift the classroom with my research materials some poison. For what? You find it nauseating? Do you think I can learn to distinguish so many symptoms this way?
I agree that it's important, but some don't have the stomach for it.
That means they're weak.
Surely you agree, Emily?
Well, that's simple enough to answer, but you also consider everyone's feelings. I agree completely. The other schoolmates don't like it, so it's better to put away for now. Most would react with similarity when the content is so sudden and ghastly in nature.
See? She understands. Try to show consideration for those around you.
Watson nodded with an unbound enthusiasm now that I was his ally.
Then what? What happens when you come across a grisly crime scene? Calling detectives won't help anyone.
You and I won't have a problem since we're used to it, but it could be the first time one of our schoolmates has seen anything like it. For instance, are you quite certain you're alright after seeing those?
Rather, if I'm to become a detective, then I'll have to get used to the image lines.
I didn't know you were so serious about it. Just don't force yourself, it's too awful. First time you see things like these, they may appear in your dreams from time to time.
Oh no! No! The horror! Yet I had seen enough details right before then to furnish weeks of nightmares, so I could only pray for pleasantries in my sleep. It was time for our classroom to lunch. I'm famished. I planned to ask Watson and Holmes to accompany me to the courtyard, so I surveyed the room for them, only to be distracted by a dense, unwell air amongst my schoolmates.
Jordan.
Going to eat.
Avalon.
Not now. I've lost my appetite.
Nika.
I certainly can't bring myself to think of food right now.
Holmes' display from earlier had left an unfortunate impression that would not soon go away.
And wait for the next generation of detectives? All this fuss over a few photographs? How do you expect to face the real thing on a crime scene?
Nonsense. Even I felt a bit queasy when you laid